The Italian Wine Podcast is the community-driven platform for Italian wine geeks around the world. Support the show by donating at ItalianWinepodcast.com. Donate €5 or more and we'll send you a copy of our latest book, My Italian Grape Geek Journal, absolutely free. To get your free copy of My Italian Grape Geek Journal, click Support Us at ItalianWinepodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. Grazie mille.
Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Listen in as we journey to some of Italy's most beautiful places in the company of those who know them best, the families who grow grapes and make fabulous wines. Through their stories, we will learn not just about their wines, but also about their ways of life, the local and regional foods and specialities that pair naturally with their wines, and the most beautiful places to visit. We have a wonderful journey of discovery ahead of us, and I hope you will join me. Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Today we travel to an absolutely magical place, the small island of Mazzorbo, in the midst of the Venetian Lagoon, to meet my guest, Chiara Pavan, who is head chef at the acclaimed Michelin-star Venissa Restaurant and Wine Resort. Buongiorno, Chiara. How are you today?
Buongiorno. I'm very fine. It's the real first spring day.
Okay, so the sun's shining.
The sun is shining.
Oh, that's very nice. It's shining here in England, too. We've had a miserable winter. Chiara, did you travel to work this morning by boat?
No, because I actually live on the island.
Oh, okay. I think I saw that you're learning to drive a boat, or is that right?
Yeah, I have a boat to go out of this island sometimes.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of you driving the boat. So it's such an amazing place to live and work. I visited Mazzorbo and Venissa many times, and I can say it's truly one of my most favorite places in Italy. Now, that's a big statement because Italy has so many wonderful places, but it's a very special world. I visited you for work and I visited you for pleasure. In fact, I brought my wife to Venice to celebrate our 40th wedding anniversary, and I believe you cooked for us a very special tasting menu with paired wines. So for me, Chiara, it's a real pleasure to meet you here this morning.
Thank you so much.
Chiara, for our listeners who perhaps haven't been to Mazzorbo, haven't visited this special place, can you describe it? Can you tell us why it's such a special place to live and to work and to visit?
Yeah, so Mazzorbo is an island, as I said, on the North Lagoon of Venice. And it's a special place because it's very unusual to live on an island in the middle of the lagoon. It can be difficult, but it can be also very nice, very inspiring for working as a chef or for other maybe artistic work. Mazzorbo is connected by a bridge to another island, Burano, which is the colored house island, very beautiful and very visited as well in these recent years. It can be also be difficult to live here because there are few connections with the mainland and few connections with the main island. But as I said, it's a very quiet place and it's very beautiful and inspiring because even if it's in Venice, it's full of trees. It's very green and we have space to grow our vegetable gardens. And as you know very well, there's a vineyard just in front of the restaurant.
Okay, well, that's given a really good visual image, I think, of this very special place. And also, I think, emphasizing that Mazzorbo is a world away from the island of Venice itself. It's actually, if you take the Vaporetto from Fondamenta Nova, I think, to Burano, there's a stop at Mazzorbo beforehand. But it's quite a long journey. It takes, I don't know, how long would that journey take?
It's not so long. It's 35 minutes. It depends if you come in the night, maybe it's a little bit less or more in the morning because of many tourists who visit this island.
You're right. It's not so far, and it brings people out of the hecticness of Venice to another world of peace and quiet and real beauty. And I guess as a chef, it's a very special place to work. It's a challenging place to work on the one hand. Tell us about, first of all, there are two restaurants at Venissa. Is that right?
Exactly. We have the main restaurant, we can say the Michelin-star restaurant, because yes, we were awarded by a Michelin star and the Green Michelin star, and the Osteria Contemporanea just in front. So it's two different kitchens with two different teams, but it's always me and Francesco. We are the two chefs who take care of the menu of both the restaurants.
Okay. Now, Chiara, tell us a little bit about the benefits and the challenges of working on a small island in the middle of the lagoon in terms of how you approach cooking.
We've been inspired by this island for years, proposing the fish coming from the lagoon itself and by the vegetables grown by ourselves in our gardens. So this is such inspiring for cook, but the difficulties are a lot because we can say that the lagoon is climate change hotspot. And so in these recent years, we've seen climate change more than in other places in Italy. That means that when I arrived here in 2017, 16, 17, I used to cook fish species that are no longer present. For example, eels or cuttlefish or many others. And it's only 8 years ago, so it's scary.
Wow, that really, really is scary.
Yeah, and at the same time, we are facing a loss of biodiversity. And at the same time, we can say that we faced severe events like the major flood in 2019 or a severe drought in 2022. We lost in that year like 1/3 of the vineyard and many fruit trees, like plum trees, like 20, something like that. That happened because of the severe drought. The amount of salt in the soil increased a lot, and that's why the trees died. It can be very difficult working here if you want to use all the ingredients of this place, coming from this place, or all local ingredients, because, as I said, we lost many fish species, and so we decided to focus only on few species. At the same time, in these recent years, we faced also an invasion of blue crabs coming from US coast, but via ballast of boats, and arrived here, and it found here proper condition to reproduce itself endlessly. And it's now at the top of the food chain. And last year it was the peak of the invasion. For real, during the summer, you could only catch blue crabs. There was nothing else. So we put blue crabs, of course, in the menu. Actually, we've been working with blue crabs for 3-4 years because, yes, last year it was the peak, but the fishermen brought me the first blue crabs in 2019. So it was a gradual invasion, we can say. And so we decided to focus our menu only on invasive species of the lagoon and of the Adriatic Sea, following the philosophy that we want to cook what we have more and give like a market to those ingredients and those species that are unknown and not very sold in the market now.
Italian Wine Podcast. If you think you love wine as much as we do, then give us a like and a follow anywhere you get your pods.
That's an incredible story. Incredible to hear how, we're all very worried about climate change wherever we live. Where I live in southwest England, and we've had extremes of weather here, but also we've had some benefits because wine growing is now possible when 20 years ago it wasn't. But to think of Mazzorbo as this microcosm and the intensification of the effects of climate change on your environment is really striking. I'm amazed to hear of the increase in the water temperature, meaning that different fish are no longer in the lagoon, the eels, which have been such a feature of the lagoon, but also this story of the invasive blue crab. I've heard of the blue crab, but I've not encountered it myself. Is it a good crab for eating?
Yeah, it is. It's very sweet. We are not used to this kind of sweetness in seafood, but still, it's very good. I can say it without doubt.
Okay, so that's on the menu now.
Yeah, of course. It's on the menu. It has been on the menu for 3 years now.
Okay. Now, Chiara, I think it's really interesting that your ethos and philosophy is so based around sustainability and the importance of sustainability. The Green Michelin Award as well is testimony to that. Just for our listeners, I want to give them an idea of the Venissa project with the vineyard and this emphasis on growing your own food and everything coming from the lagoon. It's such a beautiful project because this is I think, an absolutely unique wine resort born out of this passion of Gianluca Bisol to create and bring viticulture back to the Venetian lagoon. And then that philosophy following through in what you're doing in the restaurant. So tell us some of the foods you're growing. I know you're using some special herbs and wild vegetables. Tell us a little bit about this unique larder from Mazzorbo, this unique foods that you have on the island.
Yeah, we have 500 square meter of vegetable gardens and more like 50 meters of herbs garden. We grow very special salads, very special charts, and we have many alophyte herbs like sea purslane, like wild sea fennel, like salsola soda. And we grow more leaf vegetables because we saw that they need less water and they grow more salty. We have also sea asparagus. It's very good. We grow a lot of vegetables. It's very interesting because the space here is shared with the people from Burano and Mazzorbo who want to have their own vegetable gardens. So it's like a project of social gardens. And so a large amount of soil is cultivated by the restaurant, but another part is shared with these people.
Actually, I've seen some of the local people tending their gardens, like what we would call in England an allotment garden, a sort of communal garden. And that's really, really interesting. Chiara, when one is in Venice and goes around the market, maybe at the Rialto, you see the sign for Nostrano, for indicating produce from the lagoon. Now, do the vegetables and these sea vegetables and the other things that you're growing, the herbs, do they have a particular flavor of the lagoon that is unlike anywhere else? This is cuisine that really is linked to terroir and you taste it in every bite.
Yeah, I think so. I think that growing vegetables here gave a special touch to our dishes, yes.
In the same way that the Dorona grape in this unique environment gives this particularity to a really fascinating wine. You're very much seasonal cooking because you're cooking with what is available at that moment. It's springtime now, as you say, maybe the start of summer on this sunny day that you have today. What are some of the things that you're growing that are in the restaurant right now?
We have a lot of salads, like a lot.
I love that freshness of your cuisine. I think that's what strikes me most when I visit Venissa, is that one is eating really vivid flavors, fresh flavors, not overly complicated, beautifully presented and combined, but it's that freshness of the lagoon that I love the most. Chiara, what would you say is cucina ambientale? What does that mean to you?
Ambiente means environment. In Italian has two meanings. On one hand, it means like of cuisine. I would like to describe the place where we are. And on the second hand, ambientale means to take care of the environment where we live. It's like more an artistic way, and the other is the sustainable way of cooking.
Okay, how does that sustainability reflect in the cooking in the kitchen?
Yeah, as I said, it's auto production of vegetables, and we focused our menu on vegetables and invasive species. So we don't cook fish which are no longer present or which are suffering now. And we focused on species which are instead very present in the lagoon and in the Adriatic Sea. And we cut down on animal proteins overall, focusing on vegetables. That's what I mean sustainability in the kitchen. Then, of course, we cook with a lot of leftovers. We have a special dish in the menu right now, focusing on the leftovers of vegetables and fish.
What is that dish called? And can you describe it?
So the invasive species menu is in the restaurant. In the bistro, in the Osteria Contemporanea, we use sustainably caught fish, but we serve normally like the fillet and all the leftover parts. We have created a special dish in the restaurant. So with, I don't know, squid eyes or fish heads and entrails, we use all those parts for a dish.
Oh, amazing. That's incredible. Now, you are a wine resort. How important is wine and food and the linking and pairing of wine and food in the restaurant?
Of course, it's very important.
Can we talk about this extraordinary wine then, Venissa? It's a unique wine and a very interesting wine to pair with food. The project's a beautiful project. When was the first release of Venissa, the first vintage?
The first release of Venissa White is 2010.
2010. I think I have a empty bottle of that with the single gold leaf label. I think the Venissa bottle is probably the most beautiful bottle of wine as a bottle, as an object of any wine that I've ever seen, with the hand beaten gold to form the label, the fired on in the furnaces of Murano, and the hand etching of every numbered bottle. So it's a very precious wine. What would be a food that pairs very well with this very distinctive wine that has a slightly a strong salinity to it and a slightly oxidized style of winemaking that gives a real rich, full flavor in the mouth? What foods would you pair with Venissa?
Of course, we are pairing Venissa with the spaghetti al granchio blu.
Okay.
Blue crab spaghetti.
Okay. And how do you cook the crab?
Because the crab is so sweet, it needs a lot of salinity.
A lot of salinity. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, the wine gives the salinity to the dish.
Okay. How do you prepare that crab then?
We cut the crab, we prepare a sauce, and then we cook the spaghetti inside.
Okay. That sounds like a dish that anybody visiting Mazzorbo must try. Would that be available in the Osteria?
Of course.
Okay. Well, Chiara, it's been a real pleasure talking to you this morning. You've taken our listeners on a visit to a magical place. As you say, it feels a world away, but it's only 35 minutes from the Vaporetto. And indeed, it can be much quicker on a water taxi, which is a very splendid way to arrive in Mazzorbo. I look forward to returning again one day soon. But in the meantime, thank you for taking some time of your busy day and being my guest today. Grazie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Please remember to like, share and subscribe right here or wherever you get your pods. Likewise, you can visit us at ItalianWinePodcast.com. Until next time, chin chin.